Right.
いた。
Go, mate. E-video. Yay. Wish it was better news.
Mm.
But this is our coronavirus update. We're not dead yet.
Yet.
Well, I mean, like, we all die, right?
Yeah.
Eventually.
You die or you get killed. What you gonna do?
Neither of us have got coronavirus either.
No.
Which is good, for which we are currently grateful for.
Mm.
So,
So,
the Japan situation
Yeah.
with coronavirus.
we thought we would update everyone with what's going on in Japan, because the news is very saturated with this is what's happening in America, this is what's happening in Europe.
And the very unfortunate death tolls in Spain and Italy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what is the situation in Japan right now?
There are over 1,500 reported cases. Around 60 people have reportedly died. There's currently no quarantine, no lockdown, and no preventative measures in place aside from wash your hands. They have closed schools until the end of spring break. Spring break, which is only until the end of next week.
Though
Actually,
it might change.
yeah.
Maybe.
But they did close schools early, but they've said they want to open them again. So they've been closed for what, a month?
A month, yeah.
Yeah, they've barred entry to foreigners from places that have been hit by corona. So that's all of Europe.
Yep.
And all of the states are travel banned to
Yeah,
Japan.
I think from next week Americans won't be allowed to travel to Japan.
It's a little scary actually, because compared to other countries, it doesn't seem to be a lot or even enough to deal with the spread of a pandemic or epidemic, as we're probably heading into.
Yeah.
People have been saying Japan is safer because they're cleaner here, or thank goodness Japan is safe. It's currently not. And yeah, just the signs like reopening the schools are pretty terrifying. Mostly because that will hurt the kids, but that'll mostly hurt their families more, because if the kids spread it around, a lot of them have a lot of contact with their elderly relatives.
Lots of Japanese families include grandparents in the house, so yeah. High risk people all in one place. Not a good idea.
Conspiracy.
Conspiracy! Yeah, I don't know why I called it conspiracy. Well, yeah, it kind of looks like a conspiracy. Shane Dawson would be happy, probably. As everyone knows by now, the Olympics have been cancelled. It took them a very long time to get to there. They should have cancelled them when they announced the schools were going to shut up.
Things globally weren't as bad then.
That's true.
But we think there's a reason.
Yes, and it's not just us. Lots of people also think this too. There's an overarching theory that the Prime Minister Abe and the Japanese government spent way too much money on the Olympics, meaning that if the Olympics got cancelled, they would lose all of this investment money, or money Japan technically doesn't have. Because another thing that's in the news is that Japan is on the brink of another recession.
Yeah.
Great. The Olympics probably would have prevented that, welcoming some cash flow into the country.
Yeah, or at
tourists.
least been a major stopgap.
Yeah.
So the theories that they were trying to buy time, really hope that the Olympics went on. Yes, there's a lot of money tied up in the Olympics. On the run up to the announcement, the number of infected people reported was actually relatively, possibly even suspiciously low. One reason for that is Japan wasn't and still isn't testing as much as everybody else, except for possibly the UK. Abe, the Prime Minister, stated that Japan has the capacity to test 6,000 people per day, but has been testing less, and apparently not even testing people who have been presenting with symptoms.
Yes.
There was a giant mess with the Diamond Princess cruise ship situation.
The cruise ship that was docked in Yokohama, which had people, if not everyone on that ship was infected with the coronavirus. They basically tried to test everyone, but it wasn't happening fast enough, so eventually it kind of seemed like they let everyone off the ship anyway.
Wait, they couldn't test everyone quick enough, so they broke quarantine?
Kind of. They tried to test high-risk people, like the old people, but I think eventually they kind of gave an all clear. I don't know where that came from, and then everyone left the ship. But everyone who left the ship went home, and they were told to self-quarantine. But these people went home on like public transport and things, like planes and trains and buses. And also after the ship was, like everyone left the ship, like more those people who left were then eventually, a lot of them were eventually tested positive for the virus. So
I feel like they could have just sat the ministers down and had them play Plague Inc. for an hour, and they would have had a much better idea of how to prevent all this.
yeah, they wouldn't.
Oh my days.
So
Anyway,
that was a mess.
I didn't know about that.
However, since the announcement of the Olympics being cancelled, the number of cases that have been reported has increased. I'm gonna throw in a little thingy from the news which has like the day-to-day cases.
Yeah, something TV magic.
TV magic. Just yesterday, there has been over 100 new cases confirmed
In Tokyo.
in Tokyo. And this was like a massive jump because usually it was just like 10 a day or so, but all of a sudden it's like which is why this weekend Tokyo and Chiba and Saitama and I think another prefecture in that area
Have been locked down.
have been locked down for just the weekend.
Yeah, they were like, we need to lock down an area. 3 days will do it.
Yeah,
It's not like the virus has got an incubation period of 14 days.
yeah.
Nah, great.
So yeah, it does look very suspicious that suddenly the Olympics aren't happening. So here's the real numbers of what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the situation in Japan.
Yeah.
It's not great. In fact, it's possibly worse than the way the UK government initially handled Corona. At least
True.
the UK is on like proper lockdown now.
Yeah, what the UK is doing makes sense
They-
with the lockdown.
Took too long to start testing and took too long to lock down. But it's good that they've done it. No one likes lockdown. No one likes, well, except introverts. It's been a pretty lackluster response.
Yeah, although there are theories that maybe this coming week, that a lockdown might be initiated. But Abe is currently trying to get individual prefectural mayors or like city
Right.
mayors or the prefectural governments to decide what to do, which seems a bit silly. Although the Osaka mayor, I don't know his name, but kudos to him, actually pulling his finger out a little bit.
Yeah. He wanted to keep the schools closed as
Yeah.
well, which is really good.
He was one of the first people to be like, okay, we're shutting all the schools.
Yeah.
And he said last weekend or earlier this week that he recommends people not to travel around the Osaka and Hyogo area. So
Good on him.
good on him.
Yeah, we're not the only people who think that Japan's maybe underreacting to all this.
Yes.
A lot of reporters seem to be picking up on it. Also, didn't the German government send out a letter?
The German embassy apparently sent out a letter questioning Japan's response, or saying it was very, what's the right word? It's not underwhelming, very chanto yarinagatta.
English, Vicky.
I don't know, eigo wakaranai.
I don't know what you're aiming for either, so...
Japan haven't been doing it properly, basically.
Oh, yeah, and because of all of this, our adventuring has been put on hold, which is a shame, but honestly, like, it's just sensible to not go anywhere. We were considering on going to Nara this weekend, but based on having to take public transport there and how much more serious it seems than people have been letting on, we'd rather be safe than sorry, and we will be staying indoors, or at least in the local area. We're still able to go food shopping, which is good because the supermarkets here, there was some initial panic buying. I suspect it'll get much worse if they do a lockdown.
Yeah. So there was panic buying earlier this week when the Tokyo mayor announced that for the weekend everything was going to be shut.
We've stocked up on supplies, lots of long life food, lots of stuff in the freezer. So we have reserves if we need them. We've not gone mad. And yeah, whether or not the schools will actually reopen at the end of next week
is up to debate. My school, we were going to do the entrance ceremony because the start of the Japanese school year is in April, but that's been cancelled.
So yeah, we don't know really when regular adventuring will continue. We might do a quarantine adventure video, which is where we don't take any public transport because that's death. And it's currently sakura season, right?
Yeah.
The cherry blossom. So maybe we'll take a wander down the river and find some cherry blossoms before they fade, because they've bloomed, right?
Yeah, they have bloomed, which is why Tokyo is on lockdown for this weekend, because this weekend was meant to be the
viewing
cherry blossom viewing prime time.
Explains why I'm getting like 3 emails a day from Domino's being like, Hanami offers.
So yeah,
But yeah, that's our quarantine update.
That's our quarantine update. We're staying safe, and we'll update when we can. Maybe with more Japan news, our quarantine news.